Well, and since we're kind of talking about the single part,
the question,
someone reached out to me and said, when should women sleep with men, that they're dating?
Yeah. That's a good question.
And, I'm not saying if you have an amazing first date and you have a good connection that it couldn't organically lead to you on the first date.
Yeah.
I highly recommend not doing that.
Right.
Just because you have to make a man work for it. Even if you really like him, even if you really want to have sex with him because you actually like him and you want that connection like I just talked about,
right.
It's best to wait at least a few dates in. Because also, too, you never know if he's going to switch up on you as a woman.
Yeah.
And then now you've slept with this guy. And now he, unfortunately, like maybe you have had a connection and it was great for you, but he used you and now you feel bad about that or whatever.
Right.
So I would wait a few dates in. And also, I read this book about femininity. I can't remember I'm horrible with the title
it was
and
called,
the authors. It's like the Feminine Revolution or something.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And they talk about, I forget what word they used because it's kind of like different topics of traits that are feminine.
Yeah.
But they talked about this, like one of the authors had a professor and he would not really talk and he'd sit kind of in the back.
Yeah.
And, people had to come ask him questions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it made him more valuable because he wasn't just giving out the info. He wasn't just saying whatever he felt.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's not like you're playing a game, but you're withholding that because it means a lot to you.
Right.
And you know your worth as a woman, and you're not going to give that until the guy has proved to be the guy that you think he is.
Right.
And that he is like working towards you.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't think of the word that they used, which like bothers me.
Oh, okay.
But it's essentially that thing, right? Like you're not giving this thing away right away.
Right.
And we kind of talked about it in other ways too. I mean, I think it's just a good way for women to operate, not like telling your whole life story on the first date, not like, giving everything away, creating some of that mystery, especially because men like a challenge, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Like it used to bother me so much to hear men be like, if a girl sleeps with me on the first date, I don't like her anymore. I'm like, so if a girl gives you exactly what you want,
right,
you like her less. I'm like, make this make sense.
But the thing is, like, and I get it too, but he's also being honest in the sense that there's something biological in him that makes him feel that way. It makes him want to try and get it on the first date, but it also makes him feel that she's not as valuable. And it's telling you something. It might be a ridiculous double standard. It might be, just sound just harsh to the ears, but there's truth in it in the sense that that's how men behave. So whether you like it or not, it's how men behave to a degree.
And when I heard it, honestly, it made me further into what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if a guy's telling me that if you give him exactly what he wants, he likes you less.
Right.
That in no world makes me want to give it to him more.
No.
If anything, now you're going to wait 5 dates, 10 dates. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be a stupid thing to say, but yeah.
I mean, but it does make you think. And I was just thinking about it. It's just like you have to kind of dangle the carrot in front of a man. Like you're the carrot. And like you can't give it to him right away. Because then he has all the things. Then he's going to go looking for something new and challenging. And if you give all your cards away, you have nothing.
Now, men are going to get upset, obviously at this, but I agree. And I'll tell you why. And a lot of people call me out and say, well, that's hypocritical. You literally were teaching guys how to pick up girls and how to get a girl into bed on the first night. And I'm like, yeah. And I'll still stand by that because as a guy, you go ahead. That should be your game plan. The woman's game plan should be to secure the commitment. The guy's game plan is to get the sex without having to give the commitment. The woman's game plan is to get the commitment, without having to get the sex. You know what I mean? Like, again, not that both don't enjoy or benefit from both. It's just it is a game, and there's there's two forces, but it's a dance. It's a dance, right? Because you're going here, you're going there, and that's what makes it interesting. And that's where you figure out where you are through that thing. And you can't just bring the dance to the climax right away and just like, there has to be some amount of
it's like a movie. If it was like 5 minutes in, it was like, told you everything. And then it was like, bye. It's like, okay.
And it has nothing to do with double standards. And I mean, I will say this, right? Because I'm totally honest on this podcast. The more that a person has sex with a partner, a different partner, the harder they become, which is a masculine trait. So women who have more sex with different guys tend to become more masculine. Now, that's not an irreversible thing, and it doesn't mean they're bad or wrong or that we should shame them. That's not what I'm saying at all, right? What I'm saying is that it's in the benefit of you as a woman, not because society, what they think. Who cares what society thinks? That's not what this is about, okay? It's about you wanting to not become more hard and make it harder to access your femininity, which is your value and your gift that you have as a woman. So I think there's an element of that. Again, not to be used as judging, because guys ask me all the time. I get questions. So what if the woman's body count is so? And I'm like, you shouldn't. That doesn't matter. You don't judge someone by their past. You judge someone by who they are now. Now, is it true that their past can influence? Of course, and that's why I'm saying that the more that a woman sleeps with different guys, then obviously it creates a more hard or masculine. The same applies for a guy. And that's why that double standard does exist, because to some degree, a guy becoming more hard in that sense is good, but it can also become a detriment when that becomes too much.
Right.
Because too much of that, now a guy is too hard, he's too unfeeling, too cold, too uncaring. That's not a good trait either. So, but I do think that, if I am coaching guys, I'm telling them, here's how to seduce a woman. If I'm coaching a woman, I would say, hold on, do not sleep with a guy. Make him wait. Make him invest. That's your part of the game. It's like you got two different coaches for two different teams, right? And we're playing a game here. We're having a dance. And so, that I think the advice is sound to make him wait. And I do agree also with the exception, right? In the sense that, if it's just like the most magical thing in the world, and if it really is,
you can tell he's invested, and things like that, which it is harder still. But I think that like if it feels like a really good date and you guys really connected, that's when I feel like a woman is having sex for the connection.
Right.
But I think, along what you said, is what makes her hard is that it's not about the connection when she's having sex like that. It's about her.
Right.
And it's about getting these things from the guy. And that's why there's this like numbness, this like hardness, because it's not about caring about this guy.
Right.
It's about caring about what she's looking for. And so that's what it is. But if you go on a really great date, and you do feel connected to the guy and you feel like he's invested in you and like really interested in getting to know you. You guys maybe talked for hours and he's showing you like little cues that he's interested in you. Then you are having sex for the connection on the first date. And that's what makes it different.
And it is almost like a second date or a third date. Like you spent the time, you know what I mean? Better than